To give you a brief overview of what happened, 2 years ago, just before COVID hit, we did our Kickstarter and closed our pledge manager. And at the time, the standard practice was to give yourself a 5 to 10% buffer around shipping, because shipping had always been in that kind of realm. It had always been a fairly consistent thing, and 10% was safe for us, and we did 10% for a few years just to make sure that we had enough, and everything should have been fine. And then COVID hit, and you know the story. Prices started to rise really quickly, and we had to wait and watch and see what would happen, see if it would come down, and wait until the manufacturing was over to see what the world was looking like. Fast forward to October 2021, and we've been given the green light by Panda, the manufacturer, and we knew it was time to go back to our port forwarders and fulfillment companies and get an updated quote, see how things were shaping up. So we went to those, and it took a while, but we got a quote back, and what came back kind of shocked us. It was a $1.8 million estimate. So just to put that in perspective, 1.8 million is more than we've received for the entire Kickstarter after the Kickstarter fees have been taken. So this was a brown trousers moment. We had to do something quickly, and although there was hope, because it was around Christmas time, we had Chinese New Year, there was going to be the price coming down, we were sure, and things were going to look a lot better in the New Year. We knew that we had to do more as well, and so we had to dig deep, and we went to work. So the situation is usually small companies in the space. We rely on big companies to cover areas that we don't have the manpower for. So things like shipping and fulfillment and stuff like that is often done by these sort of one-stop fulfillment companies that they cost more, but they also allow you to do things you couldn't really do yourself. We knew that wouldn't work for us any longer, that cost, and so we went all the way back to basics. We stripped things down to the raw elements and started building up a plan of how we were going to get the game to you, and we went into everything. We even got to the point of using AI simulators to work out how best to pack each container. We changed from pre-packing in China to floor loading there to bring the cost down so that we could do that on this side. We had teams going out in the UK, US, and EU, and we were basically going and visiting local companies, going all the way to the bottom, trying to find who was going to be the best sort of company to partner with in the different regions. Ones that weren't really known inside the board gaming space, but were known for to be reputable and respectable in other fields of fulfillment. Just trying everything, even to the point where we actually looked at renting our own warehouses, setting up our own fulfillment teams, and doing it all in house. Now that last option didn't work for most regions. It wasn't very efficient, but we tried. So after 6 months of doing this, with the health of the market and what had been happening, we managed to battle this 1.8 number down to about 700 and something thousand, which was a feat. And at that point last month, it was going to be okay. We were preparing to put our own funds into this to be able to get it across the line, and between that and what had been happening, we were looking like we were going to be in a situation where it was going to be okay. Then last week happened. So what happened is we have 7 port forwarders we went to do quotes with, trying to get the best numbers for the sea freight and other things, and we ended up sifting down to 3. So we had 3 preferred ones, and because we wanted to have redundancies, we actually ran all 3 of those companies in parallel, so that we had them preparing for the containers, and we had them quoting all the way up to the last minutes, making sure that we had the sort of numbers down. Now the third was nowhere near as good as the first, but in terms of the pricing, but we wanted to have that backup. So we obviously went with our preferred port forwarder, and we went with them up to 2 weeks. We got quotes from all of them 2 weeks before the shipments meant to go out, and this is a fairly safe time. 2 weeks out is you're getting very accurate numbers by this point is the plan, and we've been told that things wouldn't really move much after this. So we confirmed with our preferred port forwarder. We got the confirmation back. The bookings were ready, and then we also got an invoice coming through, a new one. This one sadly was 50% higher than their quote only a few days before. Nothing had changed. It was the same product going to the same places under the same terms, but this was the fact of it. So we needed to change quickly. So we pulled out from that port forwarder, went in with another one. Our second one. This was 7 days ago. Now we got that booking confirmed. And it was ready to go. We were hopeful still. We were really pushing it at this point, but then a new invoice came, and this invoice was now 30% higher than what had been quoted. Why this happens? Well, there's just so you know, there's not really you don't really get contracts in shipping like this. You kind of pay what is asked when it is asked as a rule of thumb. You don't get confirmations of things months in advance or anything like that, so you're kind of moving with the tide. So we had to move quickly again with this 30% increase. So we went to our third portfolio. It's now significantly more expensive than the first two, but they are now responsible for the containers, and overall it saved money from those bigger quotes. Now, this, in conjunction with a few other things that happened, has really hit us. So we at the same time as this was happening, we had new quotes coming from fulfillment companies, actually at the hubs, saying that they were going to be experiencing increases in their costs as well, cardboard, fuel surcharges, a whole raft of things that were hitting us as well in a sudden way that we had been told weren't necessarily expected, and so all of a sudden, when we were just about going to be able to get it to everybody, now we have a big hole in the budget.